Hello everyone, I'm Emily.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are the hosts of the I Don't Think So cast. Each episode we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery and decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so.
Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our stories, theories, and mysteries on your favorite place to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, give us a like and definitely share our show and follow us on our socials at I Don't Think So _EH, or check out our YouTube channel at IDTS Conspiracies.
Woo! Welcome to May.
May
is like summer, you know?
May is beautiful.
I'm just happy. I had a dream that we were in fall the other day, and I was like, I'm so excited for fall. And then I was like, what is wrong? Let me like enjoy summer. Let me enjoy the warm weather a little bit. It's been great. It rained some today, and I was like, I'm done with the rain, but I shouldn't be done with the rain because, you know, we've been in a drought for a while. But, you know,
I'm just ready for some warm weather, some carefree lifestyle. Oh, I just feel more alive.
The sun comes out, my depression seeps away, and I feel
it's
like
bad. You know, it's been a bad year when you feel it like lifting off of you as you sit in the sun. Like all of a sudden, I don't feel so heavy.
I like laid on my porch the other day when it was real nice and sunny, and I was like, this is what living's about. And I was like, oh, here we go. So we are in a new week, new kind of theme for us.
New month.
Love that. Go us. And Hannah and I, for those who already know, because we've done it before, are big true crime buffs.
Absolutely.
So, and that month we did was quite some time ago. And so we thought, why don't we do another one? Why don't we? There's always crime to talk about.
Absolutely. I love watching like docuseries on different things, listening to other true crime podcasts, and always like getting deep into different things on like TikTok and things like that.
So good. Also, did you hear the TikTok ban actually did go through?
Yeah, but I think that just forces them to sell.
Yeah, it does.
So, we'll see.
They put it through on like the aid package to Ukraine, or not to Ukraine, excuse me, to like Israel. Because they knew it wasn't going to pass, and so they like threw it in on that bill too.
Sounds like our government.
Amen, hallelujah. Can't wait. So, give you a little bit of a trigger warning. Here we go. Trigger warning. We are going to discuss themes of murder on this next episode. That's really the only main trigger here.
So as long as you don't mind people getting killed. You'll be fine.
You'll be all right. If that is going to bother you, listen to some episodes of the past. Go to our YouTube, check out our socials, and we'll catch you guys later. But for those of you who are kind of like the rest of us, you hear it all the time, stay tuned. So this has been, I was telling Hannah right before we started the show, I saw this on TikTok probably early last week. And are you ever like, you find something too early?
And so then you don't have like enough details or things like that? Sure.
That was pretty much what it was. So this one is actually an extremely current crime.
Okay.
Like ongoing.
Okay.
So there are some like questions and holes that still aren't answered, haven't been answered.
Okay.
But honestly, I've just been like, really
so invested, yeah.
So this is about the carjacking and murder of Katherine Aguasvivas from Florida.
Oh, I haven't heard about this.
Nothing? Oh, so excited. Honestly, I would not be shocked if this like doesn't come out to be like either a Netflix documentary or something more come with it. Just because it has a lot of the pieces and a lot of the twists and turns that just like leave you kind of having questions and wanting more. So Katherine lives in Homestead, Florida, which is Southern California in the Miami-Dade County. Katherine is married to a man named Miguel, and the couple owns and operates two businesses, a beauty shop and a barber shop. So I'm going to talk you through like the timeline of events as we know them.
Okay.
So this all starts April 10th.
Okay. So a few weeks ago.
Yeah, April 10th. So a day before the carjacking and murder of Katherine, there's a tow truck driver who would be gunned down and killed in Orange County. According to Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma, over 100 rounds had been fired during that shooting, with most of the rounds being 10 millimeter bullets, which for those like me, I don't know shit about guns. Apparently 10 millimeter bullets are like very rare to see in like street.
Sure, because I feel like you either see like a 9 millimeter or 12.
Yeah, 10 is not like very common that you see, especially like in like street disputes. So odd thing. And for them to be so many. Witnesses say...
Yeah, 100 rounds.
I know.
Jesus.
Witnesses say that they had seen a green Acura in the area for around the time of the shooting. And police really do believe that it was like a targeted crime. Like they didn't feel like this tow truck driver died just because, you know, they felt like he was targeted and got killed. So that happened April 10th. April 12th is our big, or April 11th, excuse me. It's kind of our big day. So it starts around noon. So Katherine would leave her town of Homestead just after noon, and we begin her drive towards Seminole County. She drives a white Dodge Durango, and this vehicle is seen driving northbound on Jupiter Street on her trip. Mind you, where she's from, Homestead, is like nearly a 4-hour drive to get to Seminole County. So
Okay.
she got to drive a long ways. Roughly around 3:30 to 4, Katherine would arrive to Seminole County off of Interstate 4. She'd stop to pump gas at a Shell station and was at the gas station for roughly 8 minutes. After that, Katherine would kind of stick to some back roads until arriving to the Winter Springs area. It was here roughly a half mile before the intersection of East Lake Drive and Tuscaloosa Road. Katherine noticed a green Acura was following her.
Same car.
At which point the Acura would then ram into Katherine's vehicle. Katherine then would reportedly call her husband Miguel to tell him like what happened and that she thought she maybe was being followed and then that they hit her. And he would just say to her, like, don't get out of the vehicle, keep driving.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Katherine, no point in this, Katherine or Miguel ever called the cops.
Weird.
So again, like think, you call your husband and say, I think I'm being followed.
After they hit you.
After they hit you and no one calls the cops.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Around 6 p.m., like just before this, a witness would be driving behind the green Acura when at a red light they'd see a masked man get out and then go to the driver's side window of Katherine's car.
Okay.
The witness would record a video then that shows this masked man approaching Katherine's window and pointing a gun at her. He then would get into the back driver's seat while the light was still red.
In the back of her car.
In the back of her car.
Did they have like a dash cam or something, or were they recording it with their phone?
Recorded it with their phone.
Weird. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, so you can't see in the video, but like basically the video starts as the guy, like the masked guy's like at her window basically.
So
And
they
it's like
probably
a gun
started
out.
recording because they saw him get out or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Both cars would then make a U-turn at the lights, and the passenger of this witness's car who took the video would make a call to 911 and tell law enforcement that they just witnessed a carjacking. The cars would be then heading southbound on Tuscaloosa Road toward the Seminole Orange County line. From there, the car is like driven around until it eventually reaches Osceola County.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of counties
Jumping
involved.
counties, yeah.
7 p.m., witnesses in Osceola County would then report hearing gunshots and seeing smoke from a vehicle fire. The car would be so badly burned that the officers originally could not identify like the make or the model of the vehicle.
Wow.
Officers would then find the burned body of believed to be Katherine in the back of her car with a bunch of shell casings from the gun like all around. The shell casings were then found to be 10 millimeter
Matching
casings.
the tow truck driver.
Mm-hmm. Again, this crime was kind of believed to be a targeted crime, but at that point in time, the two cases were not connected whatsoever. Officers then were trying to understand, like, why was Katherine traveling to Seminole County in the first place? Like, what's going on? So they asked Miguel, and Miguel stated that she was going to visit family. However, like, detectives were looking, and they weren't able to find any relatives in the area. of Katherine's. So, like, that story just didn't seem to really add up. Miguel and Katherine's brother would be asked by detectives to come into the station and be interviewed on the case, and they both agreed. So they were going to have to come and drive to Seminole County. Again, it's like a 4-hour drive. So they said, I'm not coming in today, I'll come in tomorrow. Fine. Apparently they're like, that sounds good. Cool. 11 p.m., one of the detectives working the case, she was going to plan on interviewing the two men. She would receive a phone call from an Orange County deputy who identified himself as Francisco Archulia. This deputy said that he was Katherine's cousin.
Okay.
And he was concerned about his cousin's safety and asked the detectives, like, hey, can I get more details regarding the investigation? Now, again, at this point, they hadn't confirmed
that it was
her body in the vehicle. It was just kind of suspected. So he's like, oh, she's safe. Tell me about the investigation. The detective, she would tell him, like, the case is still active, can't divulge any information. Sorry. She then asked Francisco, like, the same question, like, why was Katherine going to the Seminole County area? And he basically said, like, I don't know. Me and Katherine don't really talk.
Weird.
April 12th, nothing too much happens on April 12th, except that the detective would get another call from Francisco, who again asked about the investigation. She told him again that, like, can't talk about it at this time and will return his call. She did not ever return his call because, again, active investigation. I'm not going to, like, tell you secrets.
Divulge any, yeah.
Miguel would also arrive at the sheriff's office and provide detectives with his cell phone so that they'd be able to, like, search it and go through it. This brings us to April 13th. So, like, 2 days after the murder. The green Acura would be found abandoned in the Orange County apartment complex and was taken into the sheriff's office to be evaluated. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this Acura because it's odd.
Well, because was it left at the light?
Nope, because it was two carjackers, like someone driving and, like, the person who got out.
Okay, I was confused because I'm like, I thought they just left it at the light.
No. So from the witness video, police are unable to make out kind of the license plate and what it says. However, based on, like, the car, they can kind of make out a year from it. Okay. And with that green color, turns out it's actually a very rare car in the state of Florida.
Okay.
It looks like shit. It looks like an old beat up car to me, but I'm not a car person. So turns out only 3 cars of that color are in the entire state of Florida.
So they can narrow it down pretty easily.
2 of those cars have been sold and scrapped at salvage yards.
So literally it's only one left.
One car. So officers would contact the owners of the third Acura to find out that they had sold it to a company and that company sold it at an auction. And that auction basically sold it to another place. And along the way, like, paperwork wasn't getting filed, like, of titles. So they weren't able to identify who owned the vehicle.
Gotcha.
However, you know what happened earlier was this car, this green Acura, was actually illegally parked at an Orange County apartment complex where it would be towed away. Guess what happened to that tow truck driver?
Got shot.
Same one. That's right. Murdered the day before Katherine's carjacking. So it sounds like they parked it illegally. It got towed. And as it was being towed,
the guy shot him.
Driver was gunned down. So weird stuff going on with the car. That was all found out on April 13th. April 14th, they searched Miguel's cell phone and they discovered that Francisco Archulia, the cousin, was actually Deputy Francisco Estrella. He's 33 years old. So he went by a different name. His real name is Estrella. So he told them a different name. Don't know why, but he did. And he had actually been in contact with Miguel via WhatsApp. According to the affidavit, the two had been sharing details about the detective whom Francisco had been calling. And Francisco said he used a law enforcement database to contact her. So, like, went into a database to find her number specifically so he could call her.
Gotcha.
Fun fact, that's not legal. But, you know,
right?
What you gonna do? In addition to this, Estrella had shared a video recording of like him and the detective's conversation with Miguel just minutes after he contacted the detective on April 11th.
So he was calling her, recording it, and then sent it to Miguel.
So Estrella would be arrested on charges of interception of wire, oral or electronic communication, disclosure of wire, good Lord, this is going to be fun. Wire, oral, or electronic communication, disclosure or use of confidential criminal justice information, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, accessing computer or electronic devices without authorization, or exceeding authorization, and would be held on a bond of $18,000.
Wow.
So he kind of caught himself.
That kind of sucks because he didn't even get any information.
You're going to be illegal, you know.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even get anything.
It's a weird
situation.
Like, why? What are you doing?
But I'm sure, like, if that's the cousin, the husband's like, figure out what you can find out, and then they got caught.
Yeah. You know, it's weird. It's a weird time. So April 15th, Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma discussed Estrella's arrest, revealing that Katherine's brother, who they had asked to come in, and Miguel had called a mutual childhood friend who would just so happen to be Estrella's wife. So
I'm confused. Say it again.
So Katherine's brother,
yes,
and her husband called their mutual childhood friend. Their mutual childhood friend
was the wife of the cousin who's the detective?
Correct. Fun fact, they're not cousins.
Got it. Okay, I'm confused.
They're not actually cousins. He lied about who he was.
That's why he lied about the last name or whatever?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is a quote from Dennis Lemma. I'm not going to lie to you. It gets a little confusing because he quotes another person in this quote.
Okay.
But I think it helps a little bit. So the wife, he says, quote, the wife of the Orange County deputy reached out and said, I've been contacted by this person who is identified by name as a detective with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Can you find out whatever information you can about this particular person? So basically, Katherine's brother and Miguel were impersonating officers from the Seminole County, trying to get information from Estrella's wife then. It's just a very odd mess of people like
trying to figure out
what's going on. In this interview, Lemma would then discuss the oddities again of that green Acura that we already discussed. And he would explain that the 10mm bullets, just like those found near the shooting scene of the tow truck driver, were used to kill Katherine in Osceola County, although her body still at that point had not been positively identified. Yeah. Again, she was really burnt.
Yeah.
It's a bad time for her. Estrella would then also on April 15th enter a written plea of not guilty.
Okay.
So, good job, Estrella. On April 16th, Homeland Security would get involved. So, Homeland Security investigators in Orlando were alerted to a, quote, suspicious parcel that was addressed to a home at 1855 Overcup Avenue in St. Cloud, Florida.
Okay.
According to investigators, the return label was then listed as coming from Puerto Rico. So this is important because then on April 17th, more stuff happened with the parcel. Firstly, Estrella's attorney filed a motion to request the bond to be lowered. Meanwhile, the suspicious parcel from the previous day was intercepted, and when they opened it up, it looked like there was a lamp fixture inside. However, detectives soon discovered 3 bricks of cocaine that were hidden in the fixture using like caulk and nails, so they like sealed it up in there. Court records show that police would then deliver the parcel to this address to try and see like
who was picking it up,
what's going on, see what's responsible. So during this time, a white Acura was spotted driving around for like an hour around this address that they dropped it at before finally parking in the driveway. The driver, named Monica oh no, we're going to do some great, I practiced this prior. Monica Sabel Romero Soto got out of the car while carrying a baby and would go and pick up the parcel. Shockingly, she was arrested. Who knew?
Oof.
Detectives say that she like doesn't live at the address and mentioned that she was just trying to pick up her lamp. But they were like, what about the cocaine? And she was like, what? What do you mean there's cocaine in my lamp? So she was trying really hard to play kind of dumb. It was later discovered that Romero lived in Castleberry, and her boyfriend, named Giovanni Crespo Hernandez, is actually involved in a Central Florida drug ring.
Can't do that.
Bedtimes. According to investigators, Crespo had previously been the target of a 2020 drug investigation in Miami, which ended with over $330,000 being seized.
Oof.
Crespo is also a person of interest in several home evasions and homicide cases. So generally not a great guy. Elsewhere, Seminole County deputies executed a search warrant on Romero's home. They found several thousands of dollars, drug ledgers, multiple cell phones, high-value stolen jewelry and firearms, and several narcotics, including fentanyl, cannabis, and other drug paraphernalia.
Woofda.
So she was real.
She wasn't just trying to get her lamp.
She was not, shockingly. Who knew? This brings us to April 18th, which all that really happened that day is Estrella was granted a $15,000 bond and was released from jail.
Gotcha.
Brings us to April 19th. Sheriff Lemma held another news conference announcing Romero's arrest and explaining that deputies were searching for Crespo over fentanyl possession charges. According to Lemma, Crespo is also believed to be the last person that Katherine ever spoke to.
Okay.
Those details were actually courtesy of Katherine's brother.
Oh.
Who had apparently been investigating all on his own. Lemma said the brother didn't recognize Crespo, but had Katherine's phone and called him, took a screenshot, and then gave that to detectives. It's weird. The brother also told detectives that Crespo said Katherine had been in town to deliver, quote, money and other things to a friend. So it's kind of believed that Katherine maybe was part of it. Something getting mixed up in the business of Crespo. In addition, a, quote, person of interest in the case, Jordanish Torres Garcia, was arrested as he was walking into an Orange County business. Lemma explained investigators have evidence that Jordanish had bought the green Acura seen in the carjacking video. They also found a Facebook profile picture that shows him wearing the same sweatshirt that the gunman was wearing in the video.
Bummer.
So he is now in custody at the Seminole County on federal gun-related charges, but nothing brought on Katherine's murder
investigation yet.
Now, update as of today, April 23rd. Online records show that Crespo was arrested the previous day on drug charges. So yesterday he got arrested and was being held at the Seminole County Jail. He faces charges of drug trafficking and possession of marijuana with intent to sell. But again, no one has... Oh no. I'm not totally sure when we cut out. So as of today, April 23rd, no charges have been brought to anybody about Katherine's murder, but a lot of people are arrested in relation to her murder. So kind of as this thing unfolds, hopefully some people get arrested. I don't know, or at least charged with her murder. And why I genuinely think this will become a Netflix documentary is just because there's so many twists and turns of it where it's why did Miguel, I'm telling, if you called me and said someone is following me and they hit me, and and then you hang up, why are you literally 2 hours later, cops had to contact him?
Well, and I think what's crazy is I kind of have had a feeling that something else was kind of going on for the fact that she didn't contact police and then husband didn't contact police, but then they're contacting the friend.
Yeah.
There's definitely something going on with that where not that she just obviously no one deserves to be murdered or anything like that.
Right.
But she probably had some stuff going on that led to her demise.
Led to her end, led to her murder. And it's a lot of if she was working for this Crespo, what did she do to warrant her being murdered?
But honestly, it couldn't be not that much for the fact that he just blew up the tow truck driver because he was towing his car.
Could be.
This guy sounds like he doesn't have a great temper. that wouldn't surprise me if something very small or little.
Yeah, but it's so public, I think was what always like kind of shocked me. So like the videos, it's like 4 p.m.
Yeah, that is pretty
Or, like,
crazy.
I think it was like 6, I guess.
Well, and I think that lends to the fact of why they've gotten so much information in such a short amount of time. Because you hear of investigations that are taking months for them to figure out what happened, and this is all coming together in a matter of weeks. So for them to get this much information so quickly is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like with the green Acura that looks like, again, I'm not a car person, but it just looks like your stereotypical, like a high school kid drives this car. Like it's a beat up, like 15-year-old vehicle.
Yeah.
And then it's like the only one still left in the state of Florida.
Like they're going to find you.
Also, what are the odds?
But they probably didn't know that they're the only ones left.
Who would have thought like my 15-year-old car in my perfect green color, the only one left. But it's a weird case. I'm kind of looking forward to hearing more about like the brothers being weird, but then for him to like turn in Crespo, or like, and why does he have Catherine's phone, and how does he have Catherine's phone? I just have a lot of questions that like at this time can't quite be answered.
For sure.
So I'm looking forward to hearing more from them. But yeah, it's an interesting case.
If we hear anything more, we will definitely update you guys, and we'll look forward to hearing that.
Yeah. Or if you guys want to follow along on the case yourself, like obviously always Google Catherine's name. It's spelled, her last name is Aguasviva.
Nice.
So it might be an S at the end of that too. Vivas. Aguasvivas.
Did you catch that all?
Good luck. Honestly, just start typing, Katherine with a K, Katherine, and then if you get to AGUA, it'll pop up for you. So
that AI algorithm is going to lead you on the right track.
They're gonna come right with you.
Absolutely. Well, as we make our way through the month of May, if there's ever any true crime stories you want us to cover, please let us know. I've got a couple ideas already leading into next week, but that's all we have for you guys today.
Thank you. We will see you guys all next week. Make sure you like and share this video with your friends and family, and follow us on all of our socials at I don't think so _EH or YouTube IDTS Conspiracies.
Bye.